Hello, this is Allie with the Perception Trainers, and welcome to the latest episode of Real Talk for Lightworkers. So today we are going to be covering a big subject that I am super excited to talk about because I feel like it's very important. And that is the reason why people who identify as being lightworkers tend to be sicker physically, mentally, and emotionally than the average population, and why it might be harder for a light worker to heal than the average person, even when they're accessing all of this, metaphysical information and the deeper meaning behind their illnesses and blah, 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 blah. Okay? So the first thing that I want to cover with this is that, I think that just upon observation, right, there is absolutely a correlation between people who are here to be light workers and people who struggle with illness, like mental, emotional, spiritual, physical illness. And I believe that there is a reason for that, okay? So, the first thing that we need to consider is that being here as light workers, we are here to have a human experience. We're here to ground the human experience. And we are absolutely, I have observed, on a kind of accelerated timeline. So many of us come and we kind of adopt these very dense energies, okay? These very dense experiences, these very heavy, contrasting to our light experiences, because I believe that, the farther we go away from who we truly are, the farther we go away from our light, the farther we go away from the truth, the ultimate truth of our nature, and then make our way back, right? The greater our authority is in helping other people, in serving the world, right? And so, right, like people who have taken a very long, deep journey obviously are going to have more to offer than someone who's, dipped their toe in the water and kind of had a very light experience, obviously, right? So, again, this is not to necessarily say that, all light workers have to go through some sort of illness or a huge struggle with their health or whatever. It's just to say that if you are, and if that is a part of your process and you're feeling frustrated, like, why can't I heal, and why can't I get over this, and what's kind of wrong with me, like, I have all this spiritual information, I have access to all these things, and I'm still not better. Well, there's just a lot of information that comes through illness. There's a lot of information that comes from physical illness, there's a lot of information that comes from mental illness, there's a lot of information that comes from emotional illness. And it's not always that we're meant to get through it in a month or a year or a couple of years, right? Some of us will struggle for a very long time, and I don't think that's wrong. I think that we go through what we go through in order to have the experience we need to have, to cultivate the awareness that we need to cultivate, to really take what we know already, right, as light beings, and live it out, right? And sometimes that requires a very long and arduous journey. And I just think that if we're able to kind of give ourselves permission that whatever our journey is, it is what the journey is, and it's not wrong. It's not wrong to be sick. It's not wrong to be out of alignment with our highest health, because we are learning from that experience. And if you can just kind of allow yourself to know that that's what you're doing, that you're really experiencing contrast and really learning how to get back to the light, how to get back to the truth, how to transmute this stuff, how to own what you're going through and turn it into the magic that you are, that is valuable. And it's valuable, and as long as it takes you to get through it is as long as it takes. So that's the first thing, okay, is that many light workers go through physical, mental, or emotional issues because we came here to embody the density, to transmute it, and be an example for how to move through it, right? It's not just to talk about it and to teach it, or to have a theoretical awareness of it, right? Many of us have to have a physical experience of it. And that's how we transmute it, and then that's how we gain authority for saying, like, look, here's the path I took, here's what I did, here's what actually worked, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, you might be one of these people who, through your journey and through your kind of process with your illness, whatever that may be, so that could be digestive stuff, hormonal issues, headaches, mental, emotional stuff, eating disorders, depression, anxiety, deep-rooted, just, illness, anything from cancer to asthma, right? If you're going through this, okay, and you're realizing that, okay, I'm actually realizing that there are other, factors to this than what I'm eating and what's in my environment, right? That you're having your awakening and you're having your awarenesses, and you're going into these, you're going into communication with your symptoms, and you're starting to realize that there's deeper roots to why you have your symptoms, and you're starting to see like where these false beliefs are about yourself and about the world, and you're processing through traumas, and you're integrating, and you're loving the parts of yourself that have been abandoned, and all of these things, and you're noticing you're still not getting better. Or you're noticing that even as you're gaining these greater awarenesses, you have moments where you can make better choices in your life, right? Like say, you've had a revelation about your diet, and you are able to kind of move in a direction that makes you feel better for a little while, okay? So you're able to do some stuff, right? You've had some awakenings, you've had some awarenesses, and they've enabled you to actually make progress with your healing, okay? You've actually been able to move forward, and you've had moments of aha, you've had moments of clarity, you've had the capacity to make, like I say, different choices that you never thought you could make before that have actually worked. You've felt physically better, you've gotten yourself on a path where you feel like you're going forward, and then you stop and go back, right? So you, all of a sudden, like, I've heard this story a lot of times, is like, I got myself on a new protocol, and I was feeling really, really great, and so I thought, well, since I'm feeling so great, I can have a little bit of that thing that used to make me feel like shit before, and I'll be fine. And then that snowballs into putting you right back to where you were before, right? Like all of your symptoms come back and you get totally off track. This can be the same thing with like, eating disorder stuff or mental disorder. You might get to a place where you're like, okay, like no, I have some authority and some power over my thoughts, and I can love myself in this, and I can do all this stuff. And then you get back into your old patterns and your old habits, and you're thinking like, what the heck just happened? Like, I know this, I know better, right? I know what's causing my issues. I know the false beliefs. I know the underlying stuff. I know I need to love myself, and I'm not doing it. Why am I not doing it? Why am I struggling so much with this? And what I'm going to say is this, okay? A lot of the time, as light workers, we have two fundamental false beliefs that help keep us sick, okay? So that first fundamental false belief is that when I am well, I'm going to have to do something huge as a light worker to fix and save the world, okay? And if you believe that once you're well, you're going to have to go out there and change the world. You're going to have to go out there and heal everybody. You're going to have to go out there and start doing this like massive work. There might be a part of you that says, holy shit, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I have the strength. I don't know if I have the power. I don't know if I have the willpower. I'm not sure I believe in myself enough to do that. And that is a huge amount of pressure to put on yourself and on myself. And you might be subconsciously keeping yourself sick because you feel that when you're well, you are then responsible for doing this whole big great work that you don't necessarily know that you can do. And so the first thing I want you to consider is, am I telling myself this story that when I'm better, I have this big job I have to do? Because if you're telling yourself that story, you may be keeping yourself sick, right? You may be sabotaging yourself, keeping yourself small, because you think, once I'm better, well then I'm not allowed to rest. I'm not allowed to take care of myself. I'm not allowed to do any of these things that I'm not allowed to get my needs met because I'm going to be someone who has to be providing for everyone else all the time. Okay? And that's a huge mistake that a lot of light workers fall into, and then we hold on to illness because it's our one excuse, our one reason, our one legitimizing factor that we have in our lives that we give ourselves to rest and rejuvenate and take care of ourselves and to focus on ourselves and to get our own needs met. Okay? So the underlying big false belief here is that you're here to serve, and that if you're doing well, you should be serving, and that it's not until you're ill that you're allowed to take care of yourself. Okay? And so if you have that perspective, if you have that underlying belief, if this at all is resonating for you, okay, I want you to know it is not your job to save anybody. You are not here to fix the world. Okay? And as a light worker, really, we've moved into this new paradigm where, healing other people is no longer a thing. It never was a thing, and I'm going to make another video on this. But just to know that really being a light worker, fundamentally, foundationally, all that it means is that you go on your internal journey. Okay? You going on your internal journey is your service to the world. Because you transmuting the density that you took on and transmuting it back into the light, right? That is all you are responsible for. And anything else that comes from that, okay, should feel natural. You shouldn't have to push it, and should not, if it's truly in alignment with who you are, impede on you taking care of yourself. Okay? So you are not here to heal and then forget about yourself and serve the world. That is not how it's going to work. All right? If you are here to do something on a larger scale than just, having your own healing journey in your life and then live your life from a place of joy, which is already a massive thing, okay? If you're going to do something even greater than that, you're going to have to learn how to take care of yourself within that. You're going to have to learn that truly, you're not serving anybody by sacrificing yourself, because that's not how this works. If you are truly out there sacrificing yourself, not taking care of yourself, not doing what you need to do for you, all right? You are not actually serving the aggregate, because we are all connected, all right? So you sacrificing yourself is literally cutting your nose off to spite your face. It's not helpful, okay? So that's a false belief. If you truly believe that when I'm well, I have to serve 100% of the time, and I have to do this big mission, and I have to save the world if I'm well, let that go. That is absolutely not true. Spend time with that belief. Take that into your self-love meditation, okay? Because this is something that will hold you back, because it is not true, right? That is your essential self saying, I'm not going to let you get better, because then you're going to just go off running and forget all about yourself. And that is not the point, okay? Still, remember, the whole point of your journey is your journey. That's what you came here to do, is your thing. If it then turns into an offering to someone else, to something else, to a greater audience, that will come from that place, and it won't impede upon your self-care, and it will actually add to it. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is, a lot of light workers believe that once I'm healed, then this bigger idea that then I'm here to just be what everybody needs me to be all the time. Right? I'm here to live up to expectation. I'm here to be the light all the time. So anytime anyone needs anything from me, I give it to them. Anytime anyone is requiring something of me, I give it to them. Anytime someone has a need that they're not meeting themselves, right? When they're not taking responsibility for themselves, I have to take responsibility, right? So it's this idea that when I am well, I am therefore then responsible for everyone around me. I'm responsible for making everyone in my life happy. I'm responsible for living up to everyone's expectation of me. I'm responsible for being this person that everyone thinks I need to be. And what I'm going to say here is this. A lot of the times, light workers keep themselves sick because they know fundamentally that they are here to not live up to expectation at all. That they're not here to be what their parents and society and their caretakers and their friends and their, everyone around them expects them to be, right? They're not here to live that life. They're not here to fit into the system. They're not here to be a big whatever, success, go to university, blah, 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 all these expectations that our families have of them. And so we know that. We know we're not here to do that. We know we're here to do something radically different. We're here to essentially dismantle the system. So not only not participate in it, but we're here to dismantle it and create something completely new, fully, not only not live up to expectation, but do the opposite of what everyone wants us to do, right? That is really our job most of the time, okay? But because that's so painful, and we love everyone so much, and we genuinely don't want to cause pain, and we really want everyone around us to be happy, we want to live up to expectation because we feel that if we do that, we make everyone happy, and then we can be happy, right? So rather than saying, look, I'm going to be authentic, and I'm going to do the thing that I know is not what you expect of me, not what you want from me, not the person that you want me to be. I'm not going to live up to the thing that you are hoping that I will live up to, rather than saying, okay, but I'm going to do my thing, right? I'm going to go off and just be the person that I'm here to be. Or really just saying, okay, fine, I'll do the thing, even though I know it's totally out of alignment with me and it doesn't feel good and I don't want to be that person. I'll do it because it makes you happy. We find this middle ground where we're sick and we're like, well, I can't really do what you want me to do because I'm sick, but I can't really go off and do what I'm supposed to be doing because I'm sick. So I'm just living in this kind of like middle ground where I'm not really upsetting anybody, or when I do upset people, I have this excuse. Okay? And that's the second thing that I really want you to look at, is that you may be keeping yourself sick because you genuinely believe those are your two options. Either conform to what everyone wants you to do, which feels horrible. You know you don't want to do that. You know you don't want to live up to expectation. You know you don't want to live the life that your parents want you to live. You know, like, and this, again, might not even be career or anything like this. It might, like, literally be the social dynamic of your family. It might be the social dynamic of your friends group. It might be the social dynamic of just the society that you live in. That you can't play the role. You can't fill it. You don't want to make everyone feel good all the time. You don't want to, you know, like, you may be the shit disturber of the family. You literally may be the person that's like, yeah, well, everyone is pretending that this thing is great, and it isn't, right? You might be the kind of Callie of the group, of the family, right? And rather than fully embracing that and fully owning that, you're just shutting yourself down by being sick, right? And so what I really want you to consider is that you may be keeping yourself sick, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, because you think that when you're well, you're going to have to live up to this expectation. And what I want to say to you is this: you might find that you are not going to physically allow yourself to heal until you allow yourself to embrace the person that you actually are, which may be, like I say, not even just antithetical to what they want, but like totally dismantling what everyone expects of you and building something completely different. Okay? So, like, for instance, in my life, I completely let my entire family down. Like, as much as they love me and they want to love me and they try to love me, right? I am so far the black sheep of the family, it's not even funny, right? Like, and again, there were lots of things in my family history that were not healthy and were not going to serve expansion. And I came in and, like, my mom has actually said this, like, I didn't play the script. I didn't do the lines. I didn't follow what she wanted me to follow. And I really didn't. And for a really long time, I was sick and I stayed sick because I knew that this person that I truly am is very loud and very vocal and very, like, let's put this all out on the table and let's be honest and let's not bury our heads in the sand and let's evolve, let's change, let's grow. And that was like the antichrist to my whole family lineage on both sides, right? Like, there was just absolute belief in just make it look good. Just don't rock the boat. Just don't make me look bad, right? And my whole thing was like, oh, I'm going to make you look bad. I'm going to totally destroy this, right? And so even in my sickness, I was doing that, right? And so until I learned to just embrace this person that I am, that I'm like, I can't pretend that things are fine when they're not. I can't go along with things. I'm here to change. I'm here to change things. I'm here to be different. I'm here to stir things up. I'm here to create dissonance, right? I'm here to burn shit to the ground. And as I started to embrace that about myself and love that about myself and allow myself to be that person, so allow myself to completely disappoint my parents, allow myself to completely not live up to expectation, allow myself to lose friends, allow myself to do all these things, I started getting better. I started feeling physically better because I was living in alignment with who I truly am. And that sometimes means disappointing everyone around you. So you might be coming up against this idea that in order to heal, you're going to have to, disappoint everybody, and that might be true. And so I just want you to know that on the other side of that, there's so much freedom, it's so worth it. Okay? So consider that. Like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. Join the Patreon group down below. We're here to support all the Lightworkers, so if you feel like you're losing your family, we can help. Do all that fun stuff. and I will see you in the next video.